It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Gets Benny in the corner.
To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker. Kenneth Walker. Touchdown. Sparty. Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up. Yes. Caught. Touchdown. Detroit Lions. They did it. Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end. Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here. A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Good feel-good Friday morning to you. It is the 28th day of April, 2023. So great to have you riding along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening here on X's and Bros, broadcasting live all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio as well. From Traverse City down to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, we say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. You can text the keyword sports radio. Send that to 21,000 sports radio to 21000. Give us a dial on the Myers Supercenter guest line 248-951-2176, 248-951-2176. We're on Twitter at XP Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros, and of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Added.com to that to find our website. And, of course, you can find us all individually on Twitter. Danny Kaelin is at Dan in the studio. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key. And I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. Gentlemen, good morning to both of you. How are you this morning? What's going on over there?
What's up? It's Friday. It looks like it's about to be raining for like 4 days straight on the radar here. But
is it really?
It's going to rain all day today.
Oh, no.
Yes. So be prepared.
Oh, boy. You got to work the game tonight?
No, I'm off. I'm off for the weekend. So, well, actually, I'm not. I'm working the Michigan Panthers. 2-0, Ford Field, 4:00 Sunday.
Wow, 2-0, Ford Field. It's going to be electric. You want to be there. My poor coworkers had to actually stay at the draft afterwards to get the field ready, get the everything flipped. I'm talking dividers and stanchions, chairs, the platform, all of it, all of the staging.
Yeah, the USFL staging, they do a lot of it.
No, all of the
for the draft.
NFL draft staging. Yeah, they take the stage. I mean, we had stuff from the back of the end zone where the field goal post, for God's sake, the back of the end zone all the way to the opposite, 45-yard line. Like that's it's a lot of work that goes into having an event like that, and it is something that the people had a good time, but you don't have draft parties when you're picking. Like, obviously, Kansas City's different because they were the host, but I don't think the Chiefs are having a draft party on any other year. If they win the Super Bowl next year, they're not gonna have a draft party to see who the 32nd selection is. Like, it's really built for teams picking, with multiple picks inside the top 20, or with a pick inside the top 10. That's what the draft parties are built for. But it was quite interesting. I mean, we had a lot of people there last night. Holy mackerel. I mean, it was a closed event. It's not like it was open to the public. It's not like they advertised it. You had to be a season ticket holder to be able to get into the door. And I mean, it was filled. The areas that they were allowing people to sit were, I mean, it was pretty incredible. I was pretty shocked to say that, this is the level of excitement that we are facing right now with this team. I mean, folks are geared up and ready to go. On today's show, it's going to be all draft the whole time because there are, wow. I mean, my phone, the minute we traded back was just ping, ping, ping. I just going just berserk. And it's like, look, guys, folks, I don't make the picks. They don't tell me who they're picking, right? Think about it like this. Let me just give you this to start today's show. What college team do you watch the most? Rhetorical question. Whatever college team it is that you watch the most, what would be the second most watched team, do you think, for you? So after you watch Michigan State or Michigan or Notre Dame, who do you watch next, right?
Well, if those people answer truthfully, it would be one of those other teams, be the second watched most.
Or maybe they flip
with Ohio, throw in Ohio
CBS.
State as well. Yeah.
Maybe they flip it over to CBS and they're like, we'll go check out what's going on over here. Maybe they'll keep it on Fox, and maybe it's not team specific, but maybe it's just like, hey, whatever game is on. And I get that, right? But the odds of you watching the necessary amount on any one of these prospects outside of a guy that might be coming from your team, like, I just don't believe you. I'm going to be honest with you. I think you're lying to me. Because there's not enough time in the day if you have a real job. There's not enough time in the day to be able to consume what's needed to consume, to be able to evaluate players for the NFL draft. Like, you know what I mean? So I get what some of the calls are going to be. I tried to explain this last night, and they were just all over me. And I was like, you know what should have happened? They're like, what? And I said, the Lions should have traded up to 3. And they're like, finally, all right, yeah, now who? And I said, Will Levis. And I put a clown face emoji out there. Like, come on. What's the matter with you? They traded back.
I told you Big Willie style should have been the pick.
Big Willie style. Big Willie slide. That's what that was. Slid like a rock right down a hill. Man, tough night for him. Wonder who that was on his right, though. So as the TV is facing on the left. Did they say in the broadcast? I was trying to listen, but I couldn't hear.
I mean, no, they're not going to say, but congrats to him.
What if it's his sister?
Congrats to his friends.
That's great.
I don't know. The way she was sitting, that wasn't his sister.
You don't think?
No.
We need some internet research. I bet you my buddy Joe will have a full article out on who
he
that was.
Probably has the full breakdown releasing within the hour.
Yeah, we needed morning screen caps. Who was sitting with Will Levis there with his mother and family members? That's all I want to know. There was an NBA playoff game last night. Don't know if anybody saw what took place.
I watched the final 40 seconds.
That seems about right.
Because it was right after the Lions were done picking.
Yeah, right after, based on the timing. Oh, my God, did that event take forever last night? Holy mackerel.
It's good for the fans when your team picks in like those late teens, because then you get to enjoy the most out of that party. Because if you're at the Houston Texans party and you're done at 8:30,
you just stick around and drink.
Yeah, but it feels like
they're an hour behind anyways.
Yeah, but it still feels like, after like an hour and 15 minutes, everyone might kind of be like, all the workers like, all right, get out of here. We want to clean up and go home.
Yeah, our last call was at 10:30. 10:30. And I said between 10:30 and 10:57, there was a mass exodus. It looked like the Hebrews, right? I mean, people just hit floodgates, right? Floodgates were open. People are getting out of there. And they asked me to give them a little goodbye. And I got up on the stage and I realized that there's nobody else here besides me and the workers. I mean, I'll do it, but I just want to let you know that we're doing this just to ourselves, just saying goodbye to all of us, staff members here. There was also Stanley Cup playoff action last night as well. So a very, very busy night. Very busy night, including maybe sweaty palms time for the Toronto Maple Leafs. with an opportunity to close out losing one. Ooh, losing one at home, too. Wow. So we got a lot to get to. And, of course, obviously, the picks. We'll talk about it next year. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
April is Distracted Driving Awareness Month, so the Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police has a few tips for you. Keep your eyes off of your phone, off of your touchscreen, and off of your passengers. And keep your hands on the wheel. Simple, right? Yet every day, 8 people are killed in distracted driving accidents. Wherever it is you're going, we would like you to get there. And so would everyone else on the road.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach and his team at Bean Carter. They're one of America's top accounting and business firms. They're based in downtown Grand Rapids, and now they're stronger than ever before with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew. Now, Dorn Mayhew is an east side firm. Now you get the west side of Michigan with Bean Carter, and whether you're a small business or big business, they can handle all of your accounting and business needs at Bean Carter. Just go to beancarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. And I mentioned with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew, they cover all of Michigan, the Midwest, and coast to coast. Find out how the pros at Bean Carter can help your business today. Go to beancarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. And I know Tom Rosenbach and his team are so happy about their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Share your thoughts all morning long on the Meyer guest line. Call 248-951-2176. That's 248-951-2176. Now, back to Danny, Ryan, and AB.
NBA playoffs means big hoops action with the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Get in on all the excitement of every game with the touch of a button. New customers can make a $5 pregame moneyline bet, score $150 in bonus bets if your team wins. Plus, everyone can score a no-sweat same-game parlay every day during the NBA playoffs. Open up the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now, opt in, and place a same-game parlay on any NBA game. If it doesn't hit, you'll get a bonus bet back up to $10. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and sign up with the promo code HUGE, promo code HUGE only at DraftKings. If you or somebody who has a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline at 800-270-7117. 21 plus, Michigan only. Bonus bet says expiring 7 days after issuance. Opt-in is required. One bonus bet issued based on the amount of the initial losing NBA bet. Eligibility, wagering, deposit restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. All right, so let's get to it. The number one overall pick in the draft, Bryce Young. Really, I mean, everybody saw that coming, so I don't really think it's anything. That's fine. That's fine. The number two pick was C.J. Stroud, who that was Houston's guy. And then after the Texans decided that they were going to trade up with Arizona, right? And they go up from Arizona to number 3, or via Arizona, I should say. Arizona slides back to 12. The Houston Texans select Will Anderson, and it cost them. That was a big, big draft deal there. Now, I guess you assume if you're Houston, you're not going to have a pretty magical turnaround. I'm not really sure. Like, they know that they're going to have some time here to try to figure this out, a couple of years maybe, so no real push to them. It's a good deal for what was, the Arizona Cardinals originally, because they were able to slide back to 12 and picking up a 1 and a 3 next year. Like, wow, that's a lot. So good for the Arizona Cardinals. Then the Cardinals decided that they were going to deal after Anthony Richardson went at 4 in Devin Witherspoon. I've heard Devin and Devon, so I don't know. We'll wait and see, because I heard both. I forget what they called him on the broadcast last night. But Witherspoon, Big Spoon, went to Seattle at number 5. Paris Johnson, well, pause real quick. Will Anderson goes at 3. Anthony Richardson goes at 4. Spoon goes at 5. At this point, the Lions are, and I'm with the Lions here. We've talked about it a lot. We heard a lot of trade back, trade back, trade back. That's exactly what they did. They traded back. They got another pick in the top 50, going back to 34, which will be the third pick of today's second round. Okay. All right. I'm kind of cool with that. They get round 2 pick 34, round 5 pick 168. I'm interested how Arizona wants to move up to pick 6, and we have to supplement with pick 81. I don't know if I understand the thought process there, because you're the one that wants to move up. So if you want to move up to 12, that's fine. Or pardon me, move up from 12 to 6, that's fine. We'll go back to 12. But in addition, give us 34. Like, how did those...
Well, the Lions' third-round pick 81, you're moving up almost 50 spots. And according to the Jimmy Johnson trade chart, this was actually a dead even deal.
Yeah, I guess, but I still don't understand. Like, if you want to trade with me...
You see the Arizona trade, and I think that's where you're just like, seems like Houston got took back outside behind the shed in that deal for Will Anderson. And then you see the Lions, and you're like, okay, And that's the thing about last night. I feel like every Lions fan, just about everything, is like, okay. Like, I get it, but, like, yeah, things happen. Yay.
Yeah, I just don't know if I want to swap that at 3 and the 2. You're the one that wants to move up, so give me 32 and we'll swap you and we'll go back to 12. I don't know why there were even other picks floated around in that deal, but whatever. So the Cardinals get back into the top 10 and they pick Paris Johnson Jr. Tyree Wilson of Texas Tech goes 7. Bijan Robinson goes 8. Jalen Carter goes 9. Shocker time, back-to-back tackles. Darnell Wright goes 10. Peter Skoronski goes 11.
How about the Eagles moving up a pick with the Bears to take Jalen Carter?
Yeah. Just to have a completely all Georgia defense. And they would get more Georgia at the end of the draft. And then the Lions come up at 12. All right, and what are they looking at, right? Is it going to be Christian Gonzalez? Could they even go Jackson Smith and Jigba? Were they going to go wide receiver? I was interested there. What was going to happen? Nobody knew. And the Lions went with Jahmyr Gibbs. Now, this is a guy who was the second-ranked overall running back. And I have to bring this up because you had Carter and Bijan and Tyree Wilson, right? 3 guys that I feel like have gotten significant amount of airtime on this show. Those guys were all sitting there for you to select at 6. And then you moved back. And we'll hear more about this next week during the conference call, but if you move back, you have a pretty firm, grasp, or I don't know what the hell to call it. But you could have taken Bijan if you wanted him at 8. That's the one thing I saw on Twitter. Folks, maybe they didn't want to take him. If you're sitting there at 6, and Tyree Wilson, Bijan Robinson, and Jalen Carter are all still on the board, you don't care about any one of the 3. Because if you did, you would have taken them. Like, they obviously thought that Jahmyr Gibbs was the number 1 running back in the class. At 5'9", 199, people are like, oh, my God. Like, the pick happened, and I think here's the issue that fans faced, right? Didn't see enough Alabama football. No connection or relation to him. Trade back for something that was relatively anticlimactic. Didn't get the guy that had been talked about, didn't get the guy that had been written about, didn't get the guy that had been mocked, caught everybody off guard, like, what? Who? What? How? Yeah, pretty crazy. And I think that that's what really kind of set the tone for what the next pick was going to be as well. Because when Jahmyr Gibbs came off the board at 12 for the Detroit Lions, there's no idea who's coming up next. No idea. Now, this to me is a clear-cut sign that DeAndre Swift will not be on this team for much longer, in my opinion. It could be as quickly as today or tomorrow, where it might not even be Monday. But if he does, he is easily RB3, and we'll see it when we see it out there on the field, maybe.
Oh, and with the Lions not having a 3rd-round pick tonight, like, if I was Swift, I would be near my phone today.
Yeah, I don't think he goes for a 3, but maybe somebody sees maybe.
But that would probably be the highest value you'd get for him in a trade return. So still, if I was Swift, I'd just have my overnight bag packed. So it's Friday night.
Yeah, I'd say I thought it was interesting in the post-draft analysis of him. We'll get into it next here in a comparison that was made of his style of play versus somebody else on this team. We'll get to your text messages as well. Don't go anywhere. Keep it locked right here. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com. at MHSAA on Twitter and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archive boys and girls high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
From the biggest of big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go! No, first base! Go, run!
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street, you're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
Imagine this, a day filled with indulgence, bursting with excitement, and packed with extraordinary moments that build memories to last a lifetime. A day that is unmistakably yours, at the place that is undeniably spectacular. Whether you're winning big, dining lavishly, or relaxing oh so comfortably, it's your getaway reimagined at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
on the Michigan Sports Network. Can't call in? Text us using the keyword sports radio and send it to 21000 or tweet us at XB Mornings. Now back to Danny Cahalan, Ryan Elke, and Anthony Bellino.
Golf season is here. It's going to be a little moist out there today in certain parts of the state. But outside of that, the weather and the temperature starting to heat up a little bit. Tullymore Golf Resort and Canadian Lakes offering now 1 but 2 championship courses. Tullymore and St. Ives, located about an hour north of Grand Rapids, 30 minutes west of Mount Pleasant. Conveniently located smack dab in the middle of the state, so it's an easy drive no matter where and what direction you're coming from. Tullymore not only features top-of-the-line golf, but also top-of-the-line accommodations and the perfect space for your wedding event, reception, or group outing. TullymoreGolf.com is the website, TullymoreGolf.com, or call 1-800-972-4837, 1-800-972-4837. Book your stay and play at Tullymore today. Welcome back here to X's and Bros. Day 2 of the NFL Draft this morning. It's Friday. It's April 28th. Man, what a day. All right, so here we go. We talked a little bit about Jahmyr Gibbs at 12. And let me reiterate and rehash something for you. And I know that this isn't attractive when I say this. I know this isn't great. I know this might not even be technically for sports radio, right? I tried to lead the show with this, but if you watch college football, right? You watch the Fox broadcast, the CBS broadcast, the ESPN or ABC or NBC or whatever, Fox Sports 1, doesn't matter. You're going to watch your team. And then what do you do from your viewing habits? You know, if you're a big Michigan fan, you probably watch the Wolverines at noon. They're going to be in Ann Arbor. It's going to be noon. Great. And then what are we going to do? We're going to see what's the next big game, right? Michigan just got done thunder punching.
You hate watching Michigan State at 4 o'clock because they played like 10 4 o'clock games last year, so you laughed while they looked pathetic.
Not gonna lie, didn't watch a whole lot. I'll be honest with you. It's like Michigan State's playing Indiana. Like, next.
You're flipping through. If the big game's at commercial, you're like, okay, I need a good laugh.
And for me, right, multiple screens. You know, no kids running around. So yeah, I could put that game up on TV3, and the main TV can have whatever other game. But that's about it. It's about it. You know, you're looking at highlights and like somebody said, his film looked good. I saw that in a group chat. The dude was not sitting around watching film. He's talking about the 60-second highlights that they showed on ESPN. The point of all of this is just to remind you, and I had to remind the good folks in that group chat as well. If no franchise cares, they're not going to base picks on what the fans want. If so, the Lions would just do a Twitter poll. We would all vote, and then they would just go off the results. But they're never going to do that because we don't. I know this bothers people out there sometimes. We don't know as much as they do. We do not have as much information as they do. We are not spending as much time breaking down every single prospect. We're not visiting with every prospect. We aren't going through any of that. We watch the combine. We see some numbers. We saw some highlights. We watch 1/4 of a football game. We go, oh, my God. That's what we do. We're fans. We're fanatical. We also have other jobs and lives. Like, that's what it is. There isn't a single GM in the league that gives a damn what radio host, television anchor, or beat writer has to say about any of it. They do not care. They have an entire staff of people working on it. If not, they could fire everybody, save a bunch of money, and just open up the paper every day and tune in to hear. That's what they would do. But they don't because these are professional organizations. Most people off the street you're not going to invite to run your business. And if you do, you're probably going to go out of business. Like, that's just, you're not just going to bring in some person off the street and say, oh, yeah, no, I'm running this company. Come on in. Come on in and you got it. Day one. Without any knowledge. You can't explain anything to him. Just go ahead. You'll be fine. It would never happen. It's the same principle applies. So there are a lot of people yelling. The reason people are yelling, I came to this conclusion last night as I was driving home at midnight. The reason people are feeling the way that they are is because our draft, for having picks 12 and 18, after moving back in the draft, which some people are like, oh, no, why'd we trade down? People talk about trading back all the time. Every draft, people are like, oh, trade the pick. Trade back. Get out of there. And it's like, wait, what? At 6, you can have whoever you want. You trade back to 12. Okay, so we took care of that. Fans wanted to trade back. We finally did that. And then we took a stud running back out of Alabama, and people are upset. They're mad. Read the replies. It's great. You know, one of my fellow staffers said, what are you getting on your end? I said, oh, my phone was just ding, ding, ding. And it was all bad. I tried to talk some sense into it, like, oh, you work for the team. Same stuff I hear. Same stuff I hear here.
What's going on? Who is this guy? What are we even doing?
So you can't ask, thank you for saying that, because you can't ask what are we doing when you have to ask who this guy is. That should just like sit back and relax, enjoy the draft.
Yeah.
They're obviously moving on from DeAndre Swift. They signed David Montgomery. Boom, they got their guy who they thought at number 12, like, we got to have him.
And my whole thing is, too, it's like, all right, if Gibbs works out, it was a good pick.
And you could literally apply that statement to everybody. If Will Anderson Jr., God forbid something were to happen to him, that's a terrible trade for the Houston Texans. Giving up a first and a third to move up to 3 to go get him is
put it this
brutal.
way. Washington announced like 2 days ago they are not picking up the 5th-year option on Chase Young.
He was a can't miss.
He was can't miss.
Can't
he
miss.
Was hoping, every Lions fan was hoping that Washington would go somewhere else, and at 3 we would take Chase Young and not fall into that Jeff Okudah trap.
That's crazy because you know who else isn't going to be around for an option? Jeff Okudah.
Yeah.
Interesting how that works.
Chase Young is more injury prone, and that's why his 5th-year option wasn't picked up. But granted, same with Okudah. He's been injured a lot too.
Yeah. Guys played like the equivalent of 1 season.
But Chase Young, everyone loved that pick.
Loved it. You know what else Mel Kiper and company really, really loved? I hate to have to keep going back to him, but you got to use him as an example because it just happened. Zach Wilson. The quarterback position is continuously overdrafted year after year after year. And I love the fact that, okay, Carolina got their guy. They needed a quarterback. All right, C.J. Stroud in Houston, okay. I can dig it. And then what? Anthony Richardson in Florida. Or, pardon me, from Florida in Indy now. The ties with the quarterback coach coming from Philly, working with Jalen Hurts. Might be interesting.
And the thing with Will Levis now falling, this is probably works in his favor because now if you're a top 50, if you're a first-round pick as a quarterback and you don't make it, you're a bust. If you're the second round and on, you were a project. You weren't projected to be the starter. You were a second-round pick. You were a third-round pick, like whatever.
Oh, you're right. Completely changes the narrative.
It changes the narrative for his whole career in his favor where there's a lot less pressure wherever he goes. And that's going to benefit. I think it'll benefit him. Now, Grant, you lose out on that 5th-year option of the contract. It may hurt your pocket a little bit, but if you perform, you could have a Jalen Hurts contract. Guess what? A second-round pick.
It has happened before. There is no doubt about it. You look to the second round. Oh, let's stay in the first. Yeah, because big Will Levis is out. Mel Kiper's all about Will Levis. Blase. Same stuff. Every year it happens.
He's just falling to where he should be. I think there was rumors they could go to the Colts. He was tied to the Colts for a bit.
It's just because he's a big white guy.
Yep, and that falls in with. Has Indianapolis ever had a black quarterback, to be perfectly honest?
It's going to be groundbreaking
Yes,
news.
they had Jacoby Brissett.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They did have Jacoby.
Okay.
Good call. But he wasn't, selected to play quarterback there. He's just kind of like, oh, well, we got him.
He was there for Hail Marys.
Yeah, chuck it deep. What a disappointing draft. Could have had that running back easily at 18, and Campbell would have still been there at 34. I just don't understand. Trust in Brad? Triple question mark. That comes from Brian on the YouTube. That's how I feel like a lot of fans felt. I really do. I feel like like most people believe that Jahmyr Gibbs was going to be there at 18.
Well, and this is what I was talking to you guys about in the break. We were fed. We weren't fed anything because, in the NFL, nobody really says squat about anything. I mean, really, they don't even mention a player's name or anything. Like, usually it's like, a guy was in for a visit, but the team isn't announcing that. People are just finding that out. But, then afterwards, Brad Holmes gets up there and says, we got all these phone calls saying, great pick. We were going to move up if you didn't pick him. No, you did not get any dang phone calls congratulating you on your draft pick. Don't lie to us.
Well,
the other teams don't care who you drafted. Well, they do care. They're mad that you got their guy.
Yeah, you don't.
But they're not calling you about it.
You don't know that. You don't know if somebody picked up the phone and some scout was like, "Damn it, Brad," and somebody that he knows. It's a tight knit group. Like everybody knows everybody in that league, especially once you get into like front office management, coaches. Everybody knows everybody.
One thing I want to ask of the listeners, if they're going to text, if they're going to call in saying we reached, they could have been here at this point. Who did you want at that pick?
Yeah, who did you want at 12?
And then I will, we will let you rant and rave all you want. Just say, hey, I really wanted this guy here.
They could have stayed at 6 and taken Jalen Carter. And then at 18, might have been able to get Jahmyr Gibbs. Might have been able to get Jack Campbell. Both of them. But Gonzalez going at 17. I mean, Kalijah Cansey was right there, too, if they wanted to go D-line. What would have been, like, what's the best, what do the fans want? Like, what's the best case scenario, right? So, like Ryan just said, if you are displeased with what took place last night, I'm not going to lie. It wasn't exactly, like, over-the-top thrilling stuff. Right? It wasn't a trade and then a return like Jameson Williams. There wasn't that big roar like when Aiden Hutchinson was picked too. People were just like, huh? What? I like Jack Campbell. And he's a Big Ten guy, right? Sideline to sideline sort of running back, or pardon me, linebacker. Like, I like Jack Campbell. Dan Campbell kind of guy.
It's like these picks are like filling out your tax return, and if you have kids, you can probably understand this more. And you're expecting a big refund on your tax returns, and it comes back like $112 as your refund, and you're just like, all right, like wasn't like I was expecting a lot more, but it's something.
Yeah, who are these people with these big returns, by the way?
How many have kids?
And they said these massive checks in the mail. It's like, oh, tax return season. I'm like, how are you getting all this money back? Like, what? Something suspicious here. Anywho, Jack Campbell, Matt Campbell, Iowa State versus Iowa, doesn't matter. Last name, relation, Dan Campbell. See? Feel the flow. Circular. If Jack Campbell turns into Luke Kuechly,
psycho,
then we have nothing to worry about. If Jahmyr Gibbs is the second coming of Alvin Kamara, then we have nothing to worry about. Then we look back at this draft in 5 years when they're signing their options, or 3 years, pardon me. I told the one guy in the group chat, I said, you'll have a Gibbs jersey by week 3. He's like, we have so many holes on defense. We should have went with, we should have had Jalen Carter. We should have Tyree Wills. We should have this. Why would we trade? We should have that. It's like, look, man, it's plain and simple. Brad Holmes' board, and I tried to explain this multiple times, is going to be different than everybody else, especially civilians.
One day I want a general manager to do the Trunchbull speech. I'm right. I think she says, I'm smart, you're dumb, I'm right, you're wrong. That's Brad, can we just trust him for one season? Like, I think he's earned it. Has he not?
I think he has. He had 2 brand name, big time, cereal box cover athletes in last year's first round. One, it was in the debate for Rookie of the Year. The other one, Gamblers Anonymous. But you get the point there.
I was wondering where you were going to go with that.
Yeah, I mean, a blue chip talent, just not all there in the head, apparently.
But also our Lions fans, and Grant, hey, this is probably a dumb sports person take, but guess what? We all have them, and sometimes they're just fun. Last year, 12th overall pick, you grab this speedy guy out of Alabama. Hasn't really worked out yet.
Ooh.
What do you do the next year? 12th overall pick, speedy, flashy guy out of Alabama. You're just like, really? We're just going to double up on it? We're going to double down? We got pocket 2s, and we're doubling down?
A lot of gambling references here. You can see where it's going. Very smart move I never saw coming. How to hide an average to good quarterback. Oh, God. Run the ball 30 to 35 times a game, shorten the clock, keep the defense on the field. I like it more now than draft quarterback in the second or next year, and no re-signing of Goff to $40 million plus to keep the salary cap clean and just keep building through the draft. Okay. All right. I think you could probably take out some of the, hide an average to good cornerback. It just sounds kind of rough around the edges there. But they do plan on running the football. They are going to run the football.
But also, if it wasn't Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud, don't draft a quarterback in this first round. If you're the Lions. If C.J. Stroud fell to 6, then I feel like, we could have a real discussion.
Yep. I was going to keep pushing S2 scores.
But no, and that's fair. But, I'm saying it would have been a real discussion.
Oh, yeah, they would have. I think they would have selected him.
Yeah.
But hey, guess what? Doesn't matter what I think. And if yesterday wasn't the exact proof of that, I don't know what to tell you.
I think to me, the one thing that I'm struggling with looking back at the picks is, I guess, Jalen Carter. What did we feel better about him?
Mike O'Hara hit that right on the head, didn't he?
So.
Didn't he? He said, hey, we don't know what that means, though. He could feel better about, maybe taking him or feel better about the fact that now he's off their board.
Yeah. They say, and I guess that's what it meant. And I think that's the person the Lions will look back, or Lions fans will look back on in this draft.
After his third conviction. We'll step aside. Hour 2 is next. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Bill Simonson here for Roast Umber Coffee. It's a farm-direct coffee sourced from Central American farmers and roasted in Grand Rapids. And their Nitro Cold Brew Coffee is a convenient and healthy option with no sugar or additives. So if you want a great coffee or energy drink to power you through your morning and your day, it's available in ground or whole bean or in cans. More information on the website and direct delivery to your door at roastumber.com.
From the biggest of big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go! No, first base! Go, run!
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street. You're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach and his team at Bean Carter. They're one of America's top accounting and business firms. They're based in downtown Grand Rapids, and now they're stronger than ever before with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew. Now, Dorn Mayhew is an east side firm. Now you get the west side of Michigan with Bean Carter, and whether you're a small business or big business, they can handle all of your accounting and business needs at Bean Carter. Just go to BeanCarter.com. That is BeanEnerger.com. And I mentioned with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew, they cover all of Michigan, the Midwest, and coast to coast. Find out how the pros at Bean Garter can help your business today. Go to BeanCarter.com. That is BeanEnerger.com. And I know Tom Rosenbach and his team are so happy about their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew. Have you ever played golf at Tullymore, St. Ives? Have you experienced a stay-and-play package in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, less than an hour north of Grand Rapids? Well, here's what you need to do if you want to take advantage of great deals right now. Go to TullymoreGolf.com. That's TullymoreGolf.com, and you'll see the link for packages, accommodations, dining, meetings, weddings, events, and so much more, and especially golf on the 18-hole layout at Tullymore and the 18 holes at St. Ives. And they can accommodate any group, whether it's 2 people getting together or 200 looking for a weekend or an overnight celebration. That includes a little business, golf, great food, and beverages. Just go to TullymoreGolf.com. That's TullymoreGolf.com. They're located in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, less than an hour north of GR. Get more info at TullymoreGolf.com.
Good morning, everyone.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
How are you?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
It's a good morning. Wake up to a brand new day.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Welcome back here. Hour number 2 of X's and Bros coming at you live here on the Michigan Sports and Network. Danny Caitlin, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Thank you for joining us and making us a part of your day each and every weekday morning all across the great state of Michigan. From Traverse City down to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, we say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And of course, we encourage you to join the show at any time. You can text the keyword Sports Radio. Send that to 21,000 Sports Radio to 21000. Call us on the Meyer Supercenter guest line 248-951-2176. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros. And of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Add a .com to that to find our website. Hit us up on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you want to do. Text us, that's easy too. Or just pick up the phone and dial us if you want to get your thoughts. Let's go first to Maury in Kentwood. Good morning to you, Maury. Happy Friday, day 2 of the NFL draft. How you feeling this morning, my friend?
Man, are you kidding me, man? I love it, dude. We hit a freaking home run last night in that draft. And we got 3 picks in the second round. It's going to be a good Friday, brother.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you love the picks.
Love them. Both of them. 100%. Let me tell you why.
Yeah, please do.
I trust Brad Holmes. That's why. So here's how I see it. We got Detroit's version of Alvin Kamara or, Darren Sproles maybe. And then, Chris Spielman 2.0, man, a 10-year linebacker for the Lions. Another legend. That's how I see it. Because I trust Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. That's a fact.
Oh, I love it. I like the intensity right now, Maury. Come on, I felt a little Macho Man Randy Savage there at the end. That's a fact. I like that.
I didn't mean to whisper at the end there. I'm not trying to go weird or anything on you guys. But no, that's how I see it, guys. I really do. That, don't get me wrong. My jaw hit the floor for a bit, and I was like, who is this kid? I had to do some looking. I'm like, all right, man, looks like we got Alvin Kamara because that's who that dude looks like to me. Super versatile, and that dude's got a big burst. There's nothing on tape not to like about the dude. He played 1 year at Alabama and had a really solid season, led up the FBS in total yards from scrimmage, I think. So, yeah, it's looking good, man, and we're going to have an awesome Friday, boys.
That's what I like to hear. Hear. Maury and Kentwood, man, we appreciate the call this morning. Love the positivity there. That's a huge plus. Thank you, my friend. Listen here, brother. That's what I thought he was going. I was like, wow, we got Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Is he on the program with us? Like, is that what's going on here? Man, I love it. I like the enthusiasm. Just got this sent to me from Chris, avid listener to the program. It's he's like, here's your stat of the day. It's the first time in the common draft era since 1967 that every first-round pick was from a major conference based on the conference the school was in when they were drafted. How about that? Holy mackerel. Wow. I did hear on the broadcast screen, he said, that's the first Iowa State player taken since the last pick of last year, right? And I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty creative. I see kind of yeah, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, all right, all this Jet stuff, I'm already over, right? I'm already done with this whole. Oh, my God, that's beautiful. Good for him. Good for them. Good for them. Jahmyr Gibbs is a guy that started his career at Georgia Tech in his freshman season, right? Jahmyr Gibbs is his first season, 460 yards rushing. Second season, 746. And then last year at Alabama, 151 attempts, 926 yards, 7 touchdowns, 44 catches, 3 touchdowns there on 444 yards. So, you're looking at 1,300 yards from scrimmage and 10 touchdowns in one season in, under 200 touches. It's a pretty good production there. That's pretty good. And then if you're looking, because we haven't really talked too much, and we will hop into the Defensive Player of the Year in the Big Ten Conference at Jack Campbell. This guy is they don't care what the ESPN ranking is. They don't care what the grade is from Mel Kiper. Go back to that video of the old Colts GM. He's like, who is Mel Kiper? Who is he? Same type of theory and hypothesis here. You got a football guy that you're looking at, like Maury just said. Is he Chris Spielman 2.0? Is he going to be Luke Kuechly? Or is he going to be Jelani Tavai? We got to wait and see. But they obviously have they got a guy who's not afraid to tackle, who's not afraid to take on blocks. He could play in the middle of the defense. He could step right into that middle linebacker position in a 4-3. He's tough. He's aggressive. He's a football guy. And he's going to play the middle. So the big question that I got yesterday is who's he start over? Well, he's either going to start over Rodriguez or he's going to start over Anzalone. He's 6'5", he's 250, he's got some nasty to him. Let's see. Here's a name to watch out for today, the Michigan Garden Center or tackle from BYU. Blake Freeland, funny listening to Brad last week. He's basically telling us who he was going to take with the first pick when they took Gurley a few years ago. Hey, look, at some point, I know that it wasn't sexy. What I couldn't believe is the stuff that I was reading about. Oh my God, we could have had Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter might work out for the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles are in a position where they drafted Jalen Carter, and then they went and took Nolan Smith too. They already have Jordan Davis, and they already have Nakobe Dean. So really just loaded up on Georgia Bulldogs on the defensive side of things, and that could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. For Jalen Carter, that meeting with Brad Holmes, in which Mike O'Hara said to us on this very program, look, when Brad Holmes said we feel really good about him, you got to remember, we don't know what that means. Do they feel really good now that they got to meet with him that we're going to take this guy, or do they feel really good about the fact that they can remove him from their board? They don't want him.
Message from Terry on the West Side on Twitter about draft grades.
Who claimed he was done inputting on the show?
No,
he did. He's just not going to do the daily.
Yeah,
the daily. He was grinding him down. 2 seasons was just a lot.
Yeah, Lions draft grade so far. I'll start with the positive. Sports Illustrated a C-. Yahoo Sports F.
Really?
Yeah. You know who also got an F grade over an all-time draft class? I'm not saying this is. Seattle Seahawks when they drafted Irvin and Russell Wilson.
Interesting. Hey, by the way, Austin says he said I could only hear you on the iHeartRadio app. Said he normally listens to us on 96.1 on the west side. So he said I can hear Dan and Ryan now. All right, well, keep us posted, brother. We need to know these things. If we got to call somebody and get them to type in the secret password to shift the satellite around, there could be Chinese interference with another space balloon like they got us last time. They wanted to know what we thought about the Lions' upcoming draft, and that's what they did. They launched that balloon thing. Pretty strange. I'm not worried about what Yahoo says. I don't care. And that was brought up too. Like, oh my God, we're going to get killed. Like, so the draft grades. We'll step aside. We're back with more X's and Bros next here on the Michigan Sports Network.
At Mercantile Bank, we believe supporting the communities we serve is a vital part of who we are. Our team is here to make a positive impact, a real difference, and we're always looking for leaders to join our team because we're not just a bank, we're a partner, here to support what matters most. Come grow with us. Visit mercbank.com to learn more and let's support our community together. Mercantile Bank. Member FDIC Equal Opportunity Employer.
From the biggest of big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go! No, first base! Go, run!
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street. You're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
From planting a simple seed to managing a global food supply, growing, processing, and distributing food is the backbone of America. You deal with food safety and labor issues, cost control, and not to mention Mother Nature. But do you have time to explore research development and biotechnical tax credits? Properly administer payroll for temporary employees. Ensure that you're operating at your most profitable? That's where we come in. We're Bean Garter. And while your business is America's food supply, our business is helping you run your business better. We'll assist with tax credits, assess your processes and controls, and so much more. And while we may not be able to help you plant your crops, we can help you realize a rich financial harvest. From the family farm to worldwide distribution of all the things you grow, grow your business better. Experience service, expertise, and simplicity at Bean Garter. Find us online, beangarter.com. Bean Garter.
From Traverse City to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, you're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. A reminder, the NBA playoffs means big hoops action over at the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Get in on all the excitement of every game with the touch of a button. New customers can make $5 pregame money line bets and score $150 in bonus bets if your team wins. Plus, everyone can score a no-sweat same-game parlay every day during the NBA playoffs. Open up the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download it. Opt in. Place the same-game parlay on any NBA game. Sorry, I'm doing that thing where I got multiple screens and things going on. Stuff's bouncing all over the place. A mess. If it doesn't hit, you get a bonus bet back up to $10. New customers download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Sign up with the promo code HUGE, promo code HUGE only at DraftKings. Now, if you were somebody who has a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117. 21 plus Michigan only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Opt-in is required. One bonus bet issued based on the amount of the initial losing NBA bet. Eligibility, wagering, deposit restrictions to apply. See terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. All right, I'm keen to listen to a lot of radio today, see which programs are going to utilize critical thinking rather than rah-rah, yeah, trust Brad Kool-Aid drinkers.
This, again, we've talked about this. All of the critical thinkers are just as dumb as everybody else. Because guess what? Not a single one of them, not a single one of those critical thinkers had Jahmyr Gibbs going to the Lions. Not a one. So cool. Congrats.
Campbell is a middle linebacker. We play 4-2-5, also referred to as nickel. Are we mining to a 4-3 because they better if they want the most from this guy? At any rate, this draft is an F in my opinion. Who does that come from? Wow. Your guy Nate Lewis is upset. Oh, I know Nate Lewis is upset. I listened to Nate Lewis and the rest of the gang for 5 hours yesterday. I know exactly how they're feeling. I'm listening to them this morning, already mad. It's 7:20 in the morning, and they're angry. All right, who's up next on the Meyer Supercenter guest line, Dan? What do you got for me?
Mike in West Branch.
Mike in West Branch, let's go.
Hey, B, how's it going?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. You know, I'm actually excited about the running back. I was listening to another podcast, you know, one of those draft gurus or whatever. He was actually talking about how the Chargers should take that running back and how the numbers, if you look at it, are very similar to Bijan Robinson. So I'm fine if we get that type of production out of him, especially with our offense. And, you know, I've said from the beginning, he has built up enough capital with me that I'm going to allow him to work his magic in the second, third, fourth, you know, all the rest of the rounds to see if we can't get, you know, a Dan Campbell guy, as they say, for the rest of those defensive holes that we need. And I think he's going to – I think everything's going to be fine. Jack Campbell, yeah, took him a little early. I really like Jack Campbell. I was hoping we would get him. I was hoping down around the 34 pick, not necessarily the 18. But, hey, if you're going to pick the guy, you're going to pick the guy. And now we've got him for 5 years instead of 4 on a rookie contract.
Yeah, I think the Jahmyr Gibbs selection, I think that's the writing on the wall there for DeAndre Swift. He is gone at this point, for all intents and purposes. Like it's a wrap for him. So they address their, if we want to compare it to last year, they address what they hope that they would have in DeAndre Swift with what they hope they will have in Jahmyr Gibbs, which will be that guy that has a little bit more pop, a little bit more explosiveness, and then they address that Jamal Williams. Let's run it between the tackles with David Montgomery, who could still bounce it outside, could still catch it out of the backfield, is still better in the pass protection than what Jahmyr Gibbs is, especially at his size. So if it is a Darren Sproles, Alvin Kamara sort of comparison to where Dan Campbell, obviously coaching with the New Orleans Saints, there are some ties there of how he saw that offense. If he's trying to replicate what New Orleans had in the middle 2010s, late 2010s, that's a pretty good business model to kind of operate off of. This is what we want to have. We want to have a power back that we can go between the tackles. We want to have somebody who could catch it on the backfield and be that explosive big play threat. Also in the backfield, do you take running back at 12 there, would he still be on the board at 18? And if Jahmyr Gibbs is still on the board, go ahead.
He was really hoping for Bijan to still be on the board, and when he wasn't, he moved over to Jahmyr Gibbs. But
see, I don't think so though, because if they really wanted Bijan, then they would have stayed and selected him at 6, right?
Yeah.
But instead if your guy, if Tyree, I really believe this. If Brad Holmes thought Jalen Carter, Bijan Robinson, or Tyree Wilson, who I'm enamored with Tyree Wilson's overall frame. I mean, that's a massive human being. And you think about what that could have been like on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson. 6'6", 270, guy can fly. Holy mackerel. You talk about edge pressure, okay. They decide with all three of those guys on the board, they still traded out, which says to me that they weren't interested in any of the three.
It could have been that they were interested, but they're like, you know what? If Gibbs is our 4th-rated guy out of these 4, and we're okay with him at 12, we can risk it and see if any of those other guys drop to 12 as well, because we know Gibbs will be here. I think it was more of a contingency plan of like Gibbs was like maybe their last option, but still had him rated in that first group of people.
It would be interesting.
Absolutely.
It would be interesting.
So,
my friend,
Anthony,
yes, sir.
Hey, real quick, my daughter's with me for the first time. Can I have you say hi to her, Samantha?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Throw her on the phone.
She's right here. She's in the truck.
Perfect.
She's a little shy, though.
Oh, okay. All right. Samantha, hello. Good Friday morning, last day of the school week. We hope that you have a wonderful day today. Behave yourself. Listen to your parents. Do big things, okay?
Yeah, she goes to Catholic school, so, hey. I know both, at least one of you guys did. So.
Oh, yeah. God bless you. I'm an ordained minister of God, as is Dan. This is a very holy show.
I'm a public school heathen, so...
Get your public school heathen self out of here. I'm trying to tell the guys, the parents are listening to us. We got to clean it up. I mean, we had to suspend a listener for 2 weeks. 2 weeks we had to suspend a guy.
Let's not go there because Daddy should be suspended a few times then.
It happens from time to time. My friend, I appreciate the call this morning. Thank you, partner.
Have a good one.
You too. Let's get to John over in Detroit. John, good morning to you, my friend. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. How are you guys?
Life is good, man. Oh, shoot. Is this JJ?
It is JJ.
All right. What do you got?
Man, if I'm being honest, I don't get the pick. I don't get taking a running back in the first round when the Lions had the literally worst defense last year. I don't know what Brad Holmes did not see in Carter. I know he really didn't have a good combine or a pro day, but I feel like we definitely should have won defense. And I also think that Gibbs and Jack we could have got in the second round maybe. I just don't get it, man. Honestly, I do not get drafting a running back when we already have 2 that we're happy with.
Would you have preferred that they stayed at the 6th pick instead of trading back with Arizona to 12?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And this is what I'm saying, man. Like, okay, so we have Kaminsky currently at our DN who, in my point, he's really a D tackle because he has 0 pass rush moves and he's not the fastest, but he's not a DN in today's pass game. So I just don't get it, man. I'm scratching my head along with a lot of Twitter GMs. So I just don't get it. I wish I actually knew what Brad is thinking picking a running back in the first round, but, let him cook.
Let him cook. All right, there's John in Detroit. See, that when he spelled the name was J-O-H-N, it caught me off guard. I was like, oh, there's another John in Detroit. Oh, that's interesting. Appreciate the call this morning, my friend. Thank you. There he goes. Wilson and Carter there at 6, Gonzalez there at 12. Gibbs would have been there at 34. Philly had the best D, and they took 2 defensive players and separated big time in the NFC. The ghost of Matt Bleeping Millen reared its ugly head last night. Oh, a shiny toy. We'll step aside. We'll be back with more X's and Bros after this here on the Michigan Sports Network.
You are very popular. Your texts want your attention, your touchscreen wants your attention, social media wants your attention, and that tuna sandwich you just dropped between the seats definitely wants your attention. All of them can wait because you're busy driving. The Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police reminds you that April is Distracted Driving Awareness Month. We want you and everyone around you to be safe, so tell your distractions to wait, especially that tuna sandwich.
When you're in construction, you know that every minute matters and every dollar counts. You've got materials to purchase, employees to pay, and deadlines to meet. What you don't have is time to worry about your accounting, taxes, or ways to grow your business. That's where we come in. We're Bean Garter. And while your business is construction, our business is helping you run your business better. From tax planning, payroll processing, or R&D credit studies, we're here for you with concrete advice and answers. Let us help you build a solid foundation for your business. Whether you're a subcontractor, developer, architect, or engineer, of all the things you build, make your business the strongest. Experience service, expertise, and simplicity at Bean Garter. Find us online, beangarter.com. Bean Garter.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. Spin the money wheel and win up to $100,000 cash. Every Saturday in April from 5 to 11 p.m. One winner each hour will spin for the win and take home up to $100,000. Whirl in for $100,000 money wheel. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Share your thoughts all morning long on the Meyer guest line. Call 248-951-2176. That's 248-951-2176. Now, back to Danny, Ryan, and AB.
Starting with Jahmyr, he was definitely a guy that we had identified early on in the process. I really kind of just saw him really for the first time when I went to the Texas-Alabama game, and he kind of stuck with me since then. But, look, it's like a handful of favorite players in the draft, and some of those guys were taken before we were able to pick, but Jahmyr was certainly one of those guys. So we were just thrilled. He's very explosive. He's a weapon. Obviously he can do it all as a runner, but what he can do as a receiver and a lot of other things. So his versatility, what he's going to bring to the offense, we're really excited about.
There's the GM, Brad Holmes. Post-draft presser. Some thoughts on Jahmyr Gibbs. We'll get your thoughts here on X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. So great to have you all riding along with us. John sent me a message after his call, and he said, you know what? It felt really good. It did. He might have been on the phone for 90 seconds. Poor guy was nervous. He's like, I want to call, but I don't think I can. I said, John, don't worry about it. I said, don't worry about it, bro. Just call.
Is
whatever's
it John?
on your mind.
Oh, it's John like Jonathan.
Yeah, Jon. Yeah.
Okay.
But, look, he's diehard Lions fan.
Not like Johnny Peralta.
No. And John, he just bought his son a Lions jersey. He's there all the time. He loves his little boy, and he brings him to games, and they're walking around. He takes him to all the events. Like, he loves the Lions, and he also loves the brand name guys. He wanted Jalen Carter. It didn't matter, how many tickets Jalen Carter got. He wanted him so bad.
Just to throw it out, Jack Campbell is a brand name guy. I'm sorry, he is an All-American. He is the Butkus Award winner.
Yes,
he is your grandfather's draft pick. But, and I said that pick doesn't bother me, and the Jahmyr Gibbs pick doesn't really bother me. It just feels like,
did they reach?
Yeah, did they reach? Could we have shifted these picks where you don't know? Could you got Gibbs at 18? Could you got Campbell at 34? And could you gotten someone else? Because to me, the biggest one out of how it all conspired was the Kalijah Cansey thing. Like, that's who I'll be watching of the whole, the draft watch, after what we all do. Like, did the Lions miss on this guy?
Yeah, that's a massive, massive question. Let's get to New York Scott, who is on hold. Good morning, New York Scott. How are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. I could think logically, right? That's why the Giants picked Deonte Banks. They traded up one spot, exactly like I predicted. I thought 3 spots. I thought we traded up 3 spots, but they fell nicely. So, logical thinkers, I guess we think alike. I can't think stupid, so I just don't. I couldn't predict that for you guys at 6, right? I mean,
your team signed Kenny Galladay to a generational contract. Don't talk about thinking logically here, Scott.
This is literally the scene, boys, in Dumb and Dumber when Lloyd sells the van, and Harry's like, just when I thought you couldn't get any dumber, you totally redeem yourself.
Easy, Kayvon Thibodeau. Easy now.
That brand of idiot, you think this is a good move. You have 2 running backs that are serviceable for the next 3 years.
DeAndre Swift will be gone by the weekend.
He's gone. He didn't he underwhelmed and disappointed last year. DeAndre Swift's writing was on the wall, man. On the wall.
There's no way in hell that you guys think that this is a logical choice. You're just defending it because you're on the radio. Everyone knows this is the worst pick since Eric Ebron. And the only difference is you needed a tight end when you picked Eric Ebron. You didn't need a running back. You just signed a $15 million man that you guys were salivating on, telling me how great he's going to be. He's a 3-down back. He's not leaving the field. And now you draft this guy that is a 3rd rounder at best? Come on. Let's put our head above the clouds.
Wow, 3rd rounder at best?
2nd at bat. As a mid-second rounder, no one's drafting this man in the first round. It was ridiculous. And I don't care about draft grades either. I think your linebacker pick was killer. I like him better than the Georgia guy. I'll give you that much credit. I do like him better than Nolan that went way later. You win the Buckus Award to me. That means your nose is dirty. You want to get in it. You want to hit people. You want to hurt people. I love that pick. This pick was ridiculous. I can't even go on anymore. It makes me want to laugh. It's the worst pick I've seen since Br0's for any organization, and the Lions will be the Lions. And this is why the Lions will be the Lions, guys. I'm sorry. Like, somewhere something's got to stop, but I guess just not today.
Wow.
Anyways,
I
love it personally, but it's atrocious what I just watched. It's laughable what I just watched last night. So, on paper, it's below an F. An F is a gentle grade. If there was a better letter to give you guys, it would be down the line further. But anyways, Bellino, good luck with taking the shots today, and hopefully they can redeem themselves tomorrow or tonight in the draft again. So have a great day, boys.
There goes Scott Thibodeau. He's out of here. Let's get to Bill and Jensen. Wants to talk about the Lions. Bill, good morning to you, my friend. How are you feeling? Jennison, how are you, my friend?
Good, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hey, I am probably a little disappointed with the first pick. I don't know if I'm not overwhelmed by it. I think he would have been there at 34. What it tells me anyways, as a lifelong Lion fan, not taking one of those other three guys that were on the board, whether at 6 you take Jalen Carter or you take the cornerback out of Oregon, that tells me that those guys do not believe in their coaching staff, that you cannot get Jalen Carter, get the best out of him, to push him and possibly get the best out of him and have him be that dominant player that he should be. So I truly think that this draft year is going to make or break Brad Holmes as a GM.
Wow. So to the coaching staff comment, there is the coaching staff did everything in their power to try to get DeAndre Swift to take that next step. Sometimes the guy just ain't it. And
go ahead.
But
DeAndre Swift can never stay healthy, and that's not I don't think that's a coaching issue. That's just DeAndre Swift not being able to stay healthy. He has been injury prone.
Did you watch Hard Knocks, Bill?
I did not.
Okay, so during Hard Knocks, it's early on, and Deuce Staley is lighting up DeAndre Swift in the running back meeting, and he's trying to convince DeAndre Swift that he could be one of the best running backs in the league. And they're going through the film, and he's talking about you can't go out of bounds here. You got to cut it up the field. Like he's ripping into him, that they can't get him to do what they want him to do, right? And that's one of those things where it's like you might have all the physical capabilities in the world, and potential is great. Everybody, like a lot of people, have great potential, right? And what happens to it? Some guys just don't have it. If they pass on Jalen Carter, for example, I'm okay with that, because in September when he got written up for doing an 85 and a 45, and they let him off the hook with just a couple speeding tickets and like a reckless driving or whatever he ended up getting for that, we watched a couple months later that transpire and it lead to the death of a couple people, and then for him to return to the scene of the crime and lie about it. Because we have a pattern of behavior. I don't want that guy in my organization. I want a criminal-free team. And I know what Jameson Williams did was stupid, but at the same time, it's legal. He's still dumb for it because everybody knows the rules. It's not like they aren't really they're not all very aware of the process and procedure if they want to bet on any sport outside of the NFL. Everybody knows what the rules are. They have to sign paperwork for it, for God's sakes. He knows. He's just dumb. And that is a little concerning as well. But I don't want a guy, I don't care how good Jalen Carter ends up being. I don't want that dude. Tyree Wilson, on the other hand, I'm very interested in him. That's one of those, as Ryan wants to watch Cansey for Pittsburgh, the defensive tackle, who we didn't select. I want to know what Tyree Wilson ends up doing. Foot injury there at Texas A&M, does that plague him throughout the rest of his career, or is that just kind of an anomaly and he comes out ripping and roaring? No need to worry about it.
Yeah, I understand those are well points. But like I say, at least if you're going 12 or whatever, he should have at least taken that lockdown corner, because I really believe the running back would have still been there at 34.
It would have been, I mean, if they could have gone, and I think that I'll say this, because I know, like, as New York Scott said, good luck, Bellino, trying to, handle, taking the hits. I'll say this. Did they reach for Jahmyr Gibbs at 12? It feels like it. Today, on Friday, April 28th, it feels like that was a reach. It feels like, hey, if you were going to take, if you were going to stay where you were going to stay and not trade back, you could have gotten one of those other guys like Tyree Wilson. I'll just keep going back to him. Or whomever.
Yep.
You could have went with
Agreed.
Christian Gonzalez. Okay. But you traded back, and you still could have gotten Christian Gonzalez right there for the corner position. Is Jahmyr Gibbs still available early second round with that 34th pick? That's the biggest question mark. Did they overreach for a guy who might have still been available later? Because it still feels like the consensus, going down to number 18 with Jack Campbell, the consensus is most rational football fans like that selection. We just slap a question mark on 12.
Agreed. So, all right, guys.
All right, partner. Hey, shout out to Jennison. Appreciate the call there. We got Big Key in Grand Rapids. Big Key, what's going on, my friend?
Hey, how you fellas doing, man?
What's going on, Big Key? How you feeling today about this Lions draft?
Well, man, I'm a little confused, okay? Because when they traded to sit down from the 6, I'm thinking some big pick is going to come around. But I don't understand why you would go and then you could have got that running back in the second round. And then if you was going to use that number 6 to get a defensive player, you could have got better than what you got. You got Joey Porter out of Penn State, I believe, lockdown corner. You got the Wilson guy. So it just don't make sense of you giving that up to get what you got. It makes no sense to me. Even if you didn't want to go with Jalen Carter because of the different stuff that, you feel like character stuff, I get that. But there were still better defensive players than you could have got for Campbell.
If we're talking about the Lions staying at 6, it's still having the availability to get Tyree Wilson out of Texas Tech. If you're staying at 6, or even if you move back where you might see Lucas Van Ness out of Iowa, or maybe there was Will McDonald from Iowa State. He went pretty high for Iowa State there, going to the New York Jets. Maybe you're thinking Christian Gonzalez, Kalijah Cansey, the other one that there's a couple of names there. I don't know why the front office was so enamored with Gibbs.
And you tell me it will be quality running backs throughout that second round?
There might be quality, but if this kid's gifted, let's just say if it works out, and in 8 months from now, we'll forget we even had this conversation. It'll be like the little button in Men in Black where everybody hits the button and forgets everything, right? If it works out and this kid touches the football, it starts running like a machine, and you have him and Montgomery as your 1-2 punch, and you're moving on from DeAndre Swift, you don't have to worry about that anymore, then I think everyone's like, okay, that's why we went and got him, right? Because there were some thoughts like Malcolm Rodriguez, like what? Like James Houston, what? Kirby. Now, albeit those are much different rounds, and this is where value really comes into the conversation, because Jahmyr Gibbs at this point, taken at 12, he's got to be a dog. Like their rookie year, he's got to come in and set the league on fire. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
He's going to have to be a double dog.
Yeah, he's going to have to be nasty to be able to rationalize all this to the fan base. I get it.
Well, I'm going to wait and see, man. But right now, it's kind of a head-scratcher. But you make a good point. Thank you for taking my call.
Big Key and GR, man, we appreciate you. Thank you for the phone call this morning.
Okay, take care.
Take care, partner. That's what it comes down to. If this guy pops, if Jahmyr Gibbs can pop, then we don't even think twice about it. But if Jahmyr Gibbs comes out here and has a very pedestrian season, it's going to be, I understand why people are going to be mad. All right, let me tell you real quick about Tullymore Golf Resort in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, located smack dab in the middle of the state. It's an hour north of GR, 30 minutes west of Mount Pleasant. You're going to love it. Conveniently located in the middle of the state because you can get to it real quick no matter where you're at. It's up north golf without the drive if you're coming up from the south, and the lodging will be able to cater to you, your partner, your foursome, or up to 400 of your closest friends and family. Book a wedding, book an event, book whatever you want there. They got the accommodations for all of it. TullymoreGolf.com, TullymoreGolf.com, or call 1-800-972-4337, 1-800-972-4837. Book your stay and play at Tullymore today. Let's get to Freddie. Freddie's on hold. Good morning, Mr. Freddie. How are you, partner?
Good morning, Bellino. How are you, sir?
I am. I don't know how I am right now. I'm a little uneasy, Freddie. I'm a little uneasy.
Listen, I heard a rumor last night. I want to know if it's true or not.
Okay.
Right? Obviously, you were at Ford Field.
I was.
And I was told that Ford Field staff had to put out a Jimmy G rope that led towards you, and all the girls got in the front of the line, all the guys got in the back of the line. Is that true?
That is absolutely true. Myself and Tracy Walker and his family, we sat down in the plush lounge section. We talked about, Cover Zero and different blitz schemes. It was great.
Listen, if you're going to hear this from me, listeners, calm down, okay? What Brad Holmes proved to me yesterday, whether you like the picks or not, this is who he is. If you look back at his last three drafts, okay, Brad Holmes doesn't make splashes. He made one splash, and that's looking like it's coming back to haunt him, right? Jahmyr. We don't know that yet. I'll give the kid a little bit of credit, even though I think he's going to end up being a bust here. But I'll give him a little bit of a break. This guy likes to build in the trenches, build a running game, and build a tough defense. This is who Brad Holmes is. So next year when we talk about the draft, and I know I tweeted out yesterday, the draft was kind of boring yesterday. I mean, because there's so much talk leading into it, I really kind of was bored yesterday. I was like, this is just boring. But anyways, this is who Brad Holmes is. They're building a Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes kind of team. Run the ball, play a safe offense, play a tough defense, and shorten the clock. And these are the guys that he's picking up. And, again, he made the one splash move, and that was Jahmyr. And I don't expect many, many splash moves. You're going to see a lot of picks, what you saw yesterday. And you got to just root for this kid. Hope it works out. I think he'll do well here, whether he overreach or not. I think he's going to do well here. And lastly, on Swift, if you're a smart GM out there, okay, like say Carolina, okay, you give up a 5th or 6th round pick for this kid, just run his legs off on the last year of his contract and get all your worth out of it. If you're kind of in one of those teams that are ready to contend, that you could use the run, just give him the ball. Just give him the ball and see what happens. But anyways, that's kind of what I want to see on Brad Holmes, EB. I think it's going to be okay. He's building a tough team, and we'll see where it goes. Thanks, Mike.
I wasn't expecting that. Hour 3's next. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
In the Den with Dan Dickerson.
DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today and use code HUGE for a special offer when you sign up. That's code HUGE, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. At the end of every year, the best teams are usually the ones with the best road records. And the Tigers are starting to show they can play some of their best ball away from home. Forget that first series against the Rays in St. Petersburg. That was a 3-game wipeout. But look at what the Tigers have done on the road since. They took 2 out of 3 from the defending champion Astros in Houston. They were one scoreless 9th inning away from taking 2 out of 3 from the Blue Jays in Toronto. And while they got swept in Baltimore, the Orioles won 2 of those on walk-offs. And then the Tigers went to Milwaukee and took 2 out of 3 from the 15-7 Milwaukee Brewers. The Tigers are 5-7 in their last 12 on the road, all against good teams. And playing well on the road is a very good sign for a young team.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. Spin the money wheel and win up to $100,000 cash every Saturday in April from 5 to 11 p.m. One winner each hour will spin for the win and take home up to $100,000. Whirl in for $100,000 Money Wheel. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details. Imagine this. A day filled with indulgence, bursting with excitement, and packed with extraordinary moments that build memories to last a lifetime. A day that is unmistakably yours, at the place that is undeniably spectacular. Whether you're winning big, dining lavishly, or relaxing oh so comfortably, it's your getaway reimagined at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach and his team at Bean Carter. They're one of America's top accounting and business firms. They're based in downtown Grand Rapids, and now they're stronger than ever before with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew. Now, Dorn Mayhew is an east side firm. Now you get the west side of Michigan with Bean Carter, and whether you're a small business or big business, they can handle all of your accounting and business needs at Bean Carter. Just go to beancarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. And I mentioned with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew, they cover all of Michigan, the Midwest, and coast to coast. Find out how the pros at Bean Carter can help your business today. Go to beancarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. And I know Tom Rosenbach and his team are so happy about their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Gets Benny in the corner. To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker. Kenneth Walker. Touchdown. Smarty. Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up. Yes. Caught. Touchdown. Detroit Lions. They did it. Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end. Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here. A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Good Friday morning to you. It is the 28th day of April, 2023, day 2 of the 2023 NFL Draft. So great to have you ride along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio as well. From Traverse City down to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, we say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. Text the keyword Sports Radio. Send that to 21,000 Sports Radio to 21000. Our Meyer Supercenter guest line 248-951-2176, 248-951-2176. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros, and, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at MichiganSportsNetwork.com. Did I say that was our YouTube page? I just meant Michigan Sports Network. Danny Cahalan is at Dan in the studio. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key, and I'm Anthony Bellino at AEC Bellino. It is, guys, emotions are running high. We got people like New York Scott calling in, talking trash about our draft. Like, please. When you root for the Giants.
Hey, Scott.
Yeah, let them have it. If you
that first-round pick you made 2 years ago, congrats to him for winning a Super Bowl with the Chiefs because he's already off the Giants. Great first-round pick.
It happens. Look, here's this grade, and I got this Twitter message here. By the way, the poll question's up at XB Mornings, retweeted across the board. How do you grade the Lions' first-round picks of the NFL Draft? Jahmyr Gibbs at 12, the running back from Alabama. Linebacker Jack Campbell, 18th from Iowa. B or higher, C, D, or WTF, which I thought was really fun. I like this one. From SportsCenter, the Lions had an interesting first round. According to ESPN Analytics, there was a greater than 99% chance Jahmyr Gibbs would have still been available at 18, and a 96% chance Jack Campbell would have still been available at number 34. And what I liked about this is Julius P. Scott. I don't even know what Julius P. Scott is. We love you, Julia P., here on this program. He said, yeah, and ESPN told me Will Levis was a top 5 lock. Thank you. It's just like Malik Willis going at 2. You just hope that we're not on that side of the coin when it drops. That's where you don't want to be. B, the Hitman Schmidt, says, I can't help but to always laugh when people judge players before they've even played a single NFL snap. Holmes said from day one, they pick who they want, who fits their team, fits their culture, and fits their scheme. They aren't just a running back. They aren't just a linebacker. The players can play in the slot, come off the edge, etc. Every mock draft year after year are so wrong that it's honestly laughable how much people look at these things and believe them. And so some of this, too, is because we're looking for things that we are familiar with. Right? That's what we're looking for. We're looking for people. We're looking for our own brand name players. That's the, who have we heard of? Who have we actually seen play snippets of games while with our friends or out at a bar? watching a television broadcast with not even all 22, not even understanding what the hell's going on out there? That's the other question. Here's Brad Holmes on their 18th selection, Jack Campbell.
First time looking at Jack, I kind of thought, okay, I've seen these kind of linebackers before. He's big and he's a plugger, but actually, no, he's not. The more you look at him, the more athletic his traits came out and became very, very visible. And then, you start looking at the athletic numbers that he's produced in terms of a lot of top 5 athletic categories among all the linebackers in this year's draft. And for a 6'4.5", 250-pound inside linebacker, that was pretty impressive. But then we're not even getting into, two-time captain. We're not getting into extremely instinctive, extremely smart, extremely physical, very versatile. He can do it in the run game and the pass game. So, again, we're just ecstatic about both those players.
That's Brad Holmes on Jack Campbell. All right, let's get to the Meijer Supercenter guest line. That's where we have Trucker Dave out hold. Trucker Dave, good morning to you, my friend.
And Brad we trust, and Brad we trust, and Brad we trust. No, you don't. We're not trusting Brad anymore. That is, like somebody said earlier, the same SOL stuff. It's just driving everybody insane.
So why aren't you trusting Brad Holmes and his staff's evaluation of these two picks?
Because with two people that easily could have been either late first round or even possibly made it in the second round, they could have easily traded back to the 18 to go back a few more spots, and they could have gotten your Jahmyr Gibbs. You could have gotten Jack in the second round. I mean, they're great players. I don't doubt them. I just think they way overpaid on them.
I heard, and Trucker Dave, now I don't necessarily disagree with you, but at the same time, this whole easily could have done this, easily could have done that, these guys are still going to be there. There's no guarantee. So if you love that guy that much, and he knows, like running back at 12, like that, like he knows, trust me, they all know. Everybody in the room knew exactly what was going to happen this morning with everybody across the board.
But now we got 6 running backs on the roster.
You only got 2 that are going to play. This to me was a flare into the sky that DeAndre Swift is getting dealt. He's going to be gone. I do not see him on this team come week 1.
A couple of the highlights I saw, they had Gibbs flared out as a slot. Do you foresee them putting him in the slot on a regular basis and have Montgomery come in and play more of a tailback so they got a two-headed weapon?
Oh, I mean, wait till they get into 21 or 22 personnel based upon who's going to be in there at tight end with them. And then, when they do break him out. I mean, if we saw one thing from Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator, right? We were looking for J-Mo just to run down the field and then for Jared Goff to underthrow him, right? And then all of a sudden, they get him involved in the run game, right? They work with his speed on end arounds and different things. Like, they're going to get creative. And when they locked on to Jahmyr Gibbs, and that's the guy that they wanted, everybody in the room's like, dude, go get him, please. Like, go turn the card and make the call. That's what's taking place in that room. They're excited about what they're going to be able to do with this guy. And so from that perspective, I look at it like, if this guy's in the slot, if he's in the backfield, like if he becomes a Darren Sproles or an Alvin Kamara, I mean, shoot. Like, what? And we have David Montgomery to run between the tackles behind an offensive line that is far superior than what the Chicago Bears were featuring last year. Healthy David Montgomery is going for 1,000 yards. You can book it right now. He's going to get 1,000. As long as he stays healthy, doesn't get some fluke injury, I am 100% that guy is going for 1,000 yards. So if he's running and running and running and beating the hell out of your defense, and now you throw this guy in there in the mix, well, versatility, baby. Versatility is job security.
So with Swift, you said that you see him being dealt. What are we going to get, a bag of chips for him, like maybe a 6th-rounder?
You might, maybe, I don't know, 5th. Okay. Maybe. That's what Jeff Okudah was for 5th. Jalen Ramsey went for a 3rd. So maybe there's a team that sees Swift that says, there's something we could do here. We might be able to use him.
And then probably the next 3 of the 4 will probably be defense.
I mean, if Joey Porter Jr. is on the board there, I mean that could really. If
he's at the board of 34, it's going to be awkward Thanksgiving for the Porter family.
Yeah, because Dad is right there at the top of the draft with the Pittsburgh Steelers with the first pick in today's round. We got to step aside. Trucker Day, appreciate it. More calls, more texts, more of X's and Bros after this here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Got any plans for Mental Health Action Day? You do now. Join us online on Thursday, May 18th from 7 to 9 p.m. for In Tune, a free live stream event featuring performances and conversations with the Verve Pipe, Br0's, Carlos Sese, Cole Hansen, and more. Visit IUnderstandLoveHeals.org to find out how you can log in and join the celebration for free. May 18th is Mental Health Action Day. Take action. Visit IUnderstandLoveHeals.org and join the celebration.
From the biggest of big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go! No, first base! Go, run!
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street, you're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com. At MHSAA on Twitter and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archive boys and girls high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
This is X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Great to have you riding along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio as well. Text the keyword Sports Radio, send that to 21,000. Sports Radio to 21000. Meyer Supercenter guest line 248-951-2176. Let's get to GB Ritz, who is on hold right now. GB, good morning to you, my friend. How are you, partner?
Well, I survived last night. I mean, I'm a little, I don't know, I'm indifferent about it, I guess, because I don't do as much studying about all these players that the Lions could select. I hear you guys talk about them and everything, and I'm not going to sit on the couch and try to outguess Brad Holmes and Campbell. I think we just have to trust in their knowledge of, and that they did their research on everything, and they picked a player that they felt would fit their system. I like the choices in the sense that I like the speed this running back has, and his hands. They showed a nice couple clips of him making some plays that could be very intriguing for Goff to be throwing to coming out of the backfield. I think this is going to be something to watch, and the linebacker, he played in the Big Ten. I mean, Iowa's known for linebackers. I think it's a solid choice. I'm taking the Steve Eisman, Mo Sider approach on these picks, at least the Gibbs pick. Steve Eisman went outside the box, shocked the NHL talking heads by taking Mo Sider, and so far it's worked out pretty damn well. So that's my opinion.
Amen. No, I get that. I get that 100%, and I like that a lot. It's a good comparison, right? I mean, Mo Sider got drafted, and guys are like, what? Oh, my God, what is he doing? And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, Mo Sider's a good hockey player. Imagine that. Well, it's always what is he doing until it happens. It's like, I told you so, right? So, GB, man, appreciate the call this morning. Thank you. It's good perspective there with the Sider reference. Jeff Risden tweeted out, Jahmyr Gibbs was my number 14 overall player. Love his game, home run hitter across multiple offenses. Still a weird pick for the Lions, in my opinion. I think that's fair. I think that's kind of how we're all feeling. Let's get to CK and Maumee. CK, good morning to you, my friend. How are you, partner?
Good. How are you, buddy?
I'm fantastic. Happy Friday.
I just wanted to throw a comparison out. I was just looking up. A guy named LaDainian Tomlinson was the number 6 pick in the draft. Actually was an inch taller, but 20 pounds lighter when he came out of Texas
TCU. Yeah, the Horned
Right.
Frogs.
Yeah. I don't know what the outrage was from San Diego when they took him or whether they loved the pick, but very comparable. I don't think Lions fans would have a problem if Gibbs became a LaDainian Tomlinson. And as far as the other linebacker pick, Captain Jack, right when he was picked, the first name that came out was Chris Spielman. Well, I'm not saying he's going to be a Chris Spielman, but very smart guy, very similar in size, 2-time captain. I think that's what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are looking for, a leader on the defense. That kid looks like he could be that type of Chris Spielman type guy. I'm not saying he'll be Chris Spielman, but when you look at those two picks, if you had a comp to LaDainian Tomlinson and a comp to Chris Spielman, I don't think any Lions fans are going to be screaming in 2 years.
No, and if they turned into Alvin Kamara and Luke Kuechly, you know what I mean? Like we gotta let these guys get out there on the field. We gotta allow them to play. We're passing judgment on guys that we haven't put the work in that NFL front offices. Sure, yeah, for Gibbs it does. Captain Jack, as you so eloquently named him, I like that, by the way. At 18, I don't hate it, right? Could they have waited a little bit on Gibbs and maybe gone, defense and then Captain Jack and then Gibbs at 34? Maybe.
Who knows?
We don't know, but this is what we have
That's
now, right?
Yeah, and I have no problem with either pick, actually.
Well, I'm glad. You're one of the few that feel that way. I'm telling you that much, CK. It's a little we're getting a little rough around the edges out here.
Well, in 2 years, everybody will be saying what a great job Brad Holmes did.
That's the hope. That's the hope, is that this guy has such a knack and an eye for talent that if Onwuzurike can stay healthy at all, if he could ever get healthy, then who knows what his first 2 classes would actually be. I mean,
we'll see, won't we?
Yeah, we shall see. But it'll be, they're in a pretty good position. It'll be interesting to see what they want to do at 34 here.
We're not picking for out of desperation anymore, and that's something Lions fan I don't think are used to. We're picking for spots now. How can this guy help us in our scheme? Versus we just got to take the best available. We've got so many holes to fill.
Yeah, it's a much different perspective. Like, Keanu Benton from Wisconsin, for example, at defensive tackle. He's somebody that, by all accounts at his position is behind, Pitt's man and Georgia's man at that D tackle spot. Is that a position that they want to go here at 34, 6'4", 309? Like, that's kind of an attractive pick. Is Joey Porter Jr. going to be there, or is his father and his father's franchise, Joey Porter, the coaching staff of the Pittsburgh Steelers, are they going to select him at corner? Like, there are plenty of great players, I think, that are still very much available, and that's what makes tonight kind of fun.
You're right. All right, buddy. Thank you.
All right, CK. Appreciate you, pal. There we go. CK and Maumee down south, a few miles. Hey, you know what we haven't gotten to yet? Do you know what we haven't gotten to? It's been so much draft that we haven't had the opportunity yet to do one of our favorite parts of the show. I'll let you take a guess.
Hit this music.
Are you ready?
Play the music.
Time for a little Detroit Lions trivia. Pew, 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 pew. Thank you. How many Pro Bowl selections during his 4 full seasons for the Rams did Jared Goff make the Pro Bowl?
Five.
2.
4 full seasons. Definitely can't make it 5 times.
No,
2.
That's how good he is. 5.
2 is the correct answer. Jared Goff had him on stage last night. Was asked about Aaron Rodgers leaving. He said, look, Aaron's a good friend of mine. Oh, it was so great. I'm happy, good luck to the Jets and happy for him and blase. And the fans started to boo a little bit. And he's like, but, it is nice when he's playing there. You get to beat him twice every year. And the people just erupted. They love that. It's a fraternity. I get it. Yeah, but it's all in good fun. It's all part of the draft experience, if you will, and being there on site last night. Hey, by the way, I want to remind you, Tullymore Golf Resort in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, smack dab in the middle of the state. It's easy to get to no matter what direction you're coming from. And guess what? They've got everything that you need. Not only top-of-the-line golfing experiences, but also top-of-the-line accommodations and the perfect space for your wedding, event, reception, or group outing. Visit TullymoreGolf.com, TullymoreGolf.com, or call 1-800-972-4337, 1-800-972-4837, and book your stay and play at Tullymore today. All right, we've got more text messages coming in. Dallas and Jerry Jones with yet another great draft. Well, what makes Dallas's draft so great all of a sudden? What's the cause? First off, you can't credit Jerry Jones for anything that takes place there. He wanted Johnny Manziel, and his son talked him out of it. Never forget that. Johnny Manziel, poof, out of the league. See ya. He wanted Johnny. Needed to get the quarterback. Needed the high-profile guy. Wanted the shiny new toy. Son said, no, we're going offensive line. That's exactly what they did, and it worked out pretty well. We'll step aside. We'll be back with more X's and Bros. More reaction for the first round. More thoughts on the second round. Next here on the Michigan Sports Network.
At Mercantile Bank, we understand that different businesses have different needs. That's why our team of business specialists take the time to understand your business, your goals, and your objectives. We provide tailored solutions and innovative products, all delivered locally. So when you're ready to work with a partner who understands your unique business needs, call us. We're here and ready to put the wheels in motion. To learn more, visit us online at mercbank.com/business and let's make dreams a reality. Member FDIC.
When you're in construction, you know that every minute matters and every dollar counts. You've got materials to purchase, employees to pay, and deadlines to meet. What you don't have is time to worry about your accounting, taxes, or ways to grow your business. That's where we come in. We're Bean Garter. And while your business is construction, our business is helping you run your business better. From tax planning, payroll processing, or R&D credit studies, we're here for you with concrete advice and answers. Let us help you build a solid foundation for your business. Whether you're a subcontractor, developer, architect, or engineer, of all the things you build, make your business the strongest. Experience service, expertise, and simplicity at Bean Garter. Find us online, beangarter.com. Bean Garter.
From the biggest of big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go! Go! No, first base! Go, run!
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street. You're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Great to have you ride along with us no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening. By the way, in regards to Boeheim, real quick, not driving recklessly, no charges were ever filed. So there was an individual who was a passenger in the car, skidded on the interstate, hit a guardrail. Boeheim was driving home after a game when he swerved to avoid the car and hit the other vehicle on an icy road in February of 2019 in the crash. So there's the details of that. Little different, a little bit different than two vehicles racing down the highway after the college football playoff. But to each their own. The issue for me is you could have got Mozzie at 18, Campbell at 34, most likely. It's not just ESPN saying that's pretty clear on all draft grades. Let's see who they get at 34. Seth on YouTube. Seth, as much as I'd like to agree with you, first off, all draft grades don't matter. None of it matters. Like, that's the best part about it. Like, we do this, and we have people that do this for a living, and it's like, at the end of the day, your results are as accurate as the weathermen. Right. Like, you might be right 40% of the time. That's like, wow. It's like batting in MLB. If you hit 300 on draft picks, like, that'd be incredible. Nobody's
like
ever
Todd McShay was talking earlier this week. He was asked, like, what's the best you've ever done on a first round of your mock? He goes, like, it's like my second year, I got like 11 of the first 13 picks right. He goes, I thought this stuff was so easy. He goes, that's the best I've ever done. It was like a third.
Yeah. It's hard, man. It's hard, especially if you're not even trying to, draft the mock draft the correct player in the correct slot. Like, if you're just picking, who's going in the first round, that would be hard.
The best I saw was Daniel Jeremiah yesterday got the first 3 picks right with the first 3 teams right, with Houston trading back in to 3.
That's incredible. What fans may not sorry.
I was going to say, then he was wrong on like 6 of the next 7 picks.
Oh, of course he was. I mean, if you had Houston moving up to 3 to take Will Anderson, like, that's just preposterous. He must have known something. What fans may not realize as well, just maybe the JMO suspension may have charged their draft process a bit. I think that's supposed to say change the draft process. It thought maybe the running back now may help them the most with the first 6 games, trying to pile up wins and stay in playoff contention. Look, go back and watch the video of the announcement. They got the guy that they wanted. Dan Campbell comes up and, basically smacks Brad Holmes on the chest, and he's beating on the table, and there's hugs everywhere. Like, they wanted Jahmyr Gibbs. They wanted him bad.
Right. Like I said, I think there's a few things. Like, the JMO suspension could have changed things. I think Devin Witherspoon going at 5. I don't think people really – you didn't see that in a lot of mock drafts either.
Yeah,
it was, the Seahawks are going to take a quarterback, Richardson or Levis. They're going to take Jalen Carter. Like, those were the picks to Seattle. Like, that could have changed. If Witherspoon's at 6, how does the draft go down?
It's different. More than likely.
Right. You don't know. And you assume, too, when the Lions traded back to 12, I thought, okay, they're going to take Christian Gonzalez at 12. They think he'll fall there. Because that's what we were told to believe, that the Lions were going to take a corner with their first pick.
Yeah.
And things will be a lot better if somehow Joey Porter slides to 34. Like you said, with Pittsburgh drafting with the first pick today, they need a corner.
Will they go with somebody who they have ties to? Will we take another corner? I mean, Joey Porter Jr. played at Penn State. Monty Oruwariye played at Penn State.
Listen, we could do this all day with
day long.
All day of, like, we can't draft this position because this guy didn't work out. We can't draft a guy from this school because this didn't work out. We can't draft this guy because the Pistons picked Darko. Like,
I just got over that. Literally, the group chat right now, Darko is being talked about. Like, it doesn't matter. The Pistons still won a title. Whether they took Carmelo or D Wade or who, like, they took Darko. That's the way it was shaked out, and guess what? They still won a title. If anything, taking Carmelo would have been better for Carmelo's career. The thousands of man-hours that the Lions front office spent scouting and watching film does not match up to my casual consumption of mock drafts over the last few months. I am literally shaking right now. I am so upset. I cannot wait for the Lions to go 2-15 next year. so we can move on from this dreadful Lions regime that is Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell absolute clown show. I assume that's sarcasm. That's why that's why phone calls are great, because sometimes in text you lose nuance and tone of voice, which are very important. Can you stop, AB? You're having a great show today, doing great. Don't dog 3-time Super Bowl winner Jerry Jones and forget that your owner told losers, quote, be in contention or else, huh? I'm telling you this right now. Jerry Jones is old. He's old, a little senile. That's what happens. The older you get, the more your mind leaves. He wanted Johnny Manziel. His son talked him off the cliff. Jerry Jones not making the pick. Stop it. What happened in 1992 is much different 30 years later. Come on. 3 reasons it is a good draft. Jahmyr is best buds with Jameson. They will compete and be in the huddle together and keep each other straight. Or the alternative, which I'm not saying this is going to happen, but it's possible. Get a bunch of your buddies together. What happens? Show me your friends. I'll show you your future. Jahmyr will play a lot of slot, better speed than any offensive player we have. No Jalen Carter's interviews after drafted were all about himself. I'm the best in the draft. Goodbye. And like I said, I don't want criminals on my team. Jameson Williams isn't a criminal. He did something that was legal. He just broke the rules, the league rules of where you can place what wager. It's not a criminal activity. Jalen Carter, sure, he only got a ticket, but, well, pattern of behavior. Like, I'm good. I'm good on that. I didn't need him, so it wasn't going to make a difference. Do the Lions move back from 6 if Will Anderson is there? If Devin Witherspoon is there? Those 2 guys got selected. I have to imagine, I would like to believe, they were very, very high up on the board. They stayed away from Tyree Wilson for whatever reason. I think that would have been intriguing with his size, but is his foot okay? Bijan Robinson was there. They decided to trade back instead. And Jalen Carter, he was there. They traded back. They end up at 12. They're very excited about the guy that they got, the versatility in which he plays with. If he is an LT sort of comparison, if he is an Alvin Kamara comparison, if he is a Darren Sproles, the guy also did some kick return as well. Like Jahmyr Gibbs, a football player. Like this guy, like there are some people out there that when they play a very, very specific way that gives you different opportunities because how they play the game. They're not necessarily position-centric, if you will. He transferred from Georgia Tech to Alabama for 2022, where he garnered second-team All-SEC honors. He was the Tide's top running back, 151 carries, 926 yards, 6.1 yards per carry average, 7 touchdowns in 12 games, making 11 starts. Third-team All-American as an all-purpose player. He led the team with 44 receptions for 444 yards. That's 10 yards a catch, in case you can't do simple math. 3 touchdowns. And he returned kicks at 20 yards a pop. Get him the ball. Football guy. Jameson Williams. You can throw him the football. You could swing it to him on an end around. You can work with him a little bit in the screen game. Like football player. Get him the ball. Amon-Ra St. Brown is the same way. Get him the ball. Like, we need football players. And you know what? Do I feel like it was a reach? Yeah, I do. I think it was very shocking to see him come off the board right there when he did at pick number 12. That doesn't mean that I'm unhappy with the pick or that I think he's going to be a bum or anything of that nature. What that means is I was surprised that they went running back at 12. Hell, Jahmyr Gibbs was surprised they went running back at 12. He thought maybe he'd be there in the 20s. I was surprised at that. But there is, based on this draft, like, who had Will McDonald IV from Iowa State going to the Jets? Like, who had that happening? Would you have been more comfortable?
Who had the Texans trading up so they had the second and third pick?
Daniel Jeremiah had that.
Yes, Daniel Jeremiah called it before the draft.
Well, I mean, somebody with actual inside information, because he works for them. That's a thing. People get insider information, and then
He's
they
also
send it out.
former scout. And he's
He's
one of the best.
A radio analyst.
I don't give a damn what he does. He had it right.
I know that, but I'm just making fun of the people around here that claim they're all insiders and then get zero information correct.
Yeah, what did I see? About the pick on the internet that was floating around? It's like, you can believe my sources or not believe them. I'm like, that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't just make stuff up and throw it at the wall. Like that's just not. No. Do I feel like they reached? Do I look at Tyree Wilson being there? I'm enamored by the physical specimen that he is. But he went to who? The Raiders. We'll see what that looks like. If they would, okay, let me position it like this. If they take Christian Gonzalez at 12 and Jack Campbell at 18, are you feeling better about where you're at today?
I feel fine. I feel great. We have picked 34 people. Like, we didn't have this pick until 9:15 last night.
God, it took forever.
That is showing up. Like, I don't know why people aren't. We have the third pick today, people. We didn't have that until last night. Why? I don't know why we're freaking out.
Yeah, so you get pick 3 and pick 17 in this round. And pick 24. That's what you have. Now, you don't have anything in the third, nothing in the fourth. You've got 3 in the fifth and 2 in the sixth. So who knows if they can package and move up? Don't know what that looks like, but you have 3, 17, and 24 in this round. Like, today is a very, very big day for the Detroit Lions. And there's a lot, I think there's a lot of promising players that are available. It's not like, the first round's over. Okay, you got a running back. You got a
Jaden Reed.
Oh God. That's why I try to stay away from like the Mozzie Smith. I didn't even want to pollute. I didn't even want to pollute anybody with any craziness. But if you're looking at just overall players, are you looking at Joey Porter Jr.? Are you looking at Michael Mayer out of Notre Dame, the tight end? Are you going to dabble with Keanu Benton from Wisconsin? Hendon Hooker from Tennessee, right? I mean, if we somehow, with our 3 picks, if we end up with, let's say, Joey Porter Jr., Hendon Hooker, I think that's probably too unrealistic. I think both of those guys, like somebody's going ahead of time. Do you go get a guy like Osiris Torrance, the offensive guard from Florida? Do you try to even beef up even more? Is it Jaden Reed from Michigan State? Is it Jalen Hyatt from Tennessee? Like there is a lot of talent to be had here, folks. A lot of talent to be had here. And it's going to be exciting. Like at the end of the day, being on 6 Mile at 3 a.m. is not criminal either. Who was on 6 Mile at 3 a.m.? I don't get that text that Matt in Grand Haven is?
He's on hold.
Oh, he's on hold. I thought he was on 6 Mile at 3 a.m. Be careful. All right, Matt in Grand Haven, what's going on to you this morning, my friend? How are you, partner?
Not too bad. How you guys doing?
We're good. I think we're good right now. It's taken a couple hours, but I feel like we've kind of worked through some of our thoughts and our processes here, and I think we kind of like where we're at.
As far as a Lions fan is concerned?
Yeah.
So that running back that they took, I think, is going to be extremely valuable. And, he kind of reminds me, I don't know if he's LaDainian Tomlinson-esque, but he can, he's very fast. He can cut on the fly. He's catches the ball in the backfield pretty well, it looks like. Looks like they can put him all over the field. I'm sure you guys have already said that and use him in a variety of ways, but I think it's an excellent pick myself, and that's just me as a fan talking. So you guys have a great weekend.
Oh, Matt, I love that. Matt in Grand Haven. Beautiful beach.
Good job, Matt.
Matt in Grand Haven. I like that. And it's not just me puffing out my chest. I know, look, I know that we're trained because of the years that you all have gone through this. There have been years of hot take and debate. There have been years of, pounding the table to just say whatever and throw it at the wall and allow people to argue, to generate callers. I get it. I understand that. Now, some may be tabbed as critical thinkers, but I also know my place. And I know that when you walk into the room and you meet somebody, things change a little bit when you see them face to face. It would change for all of you. Because now it's just like, now it's just not an anonymous shot. You're sitting there in the elevator and you're riding up to the 7th floor. Interesting. And so there's going to be a lot of people today. They're going to throw a lot of shade. I would forewarn everybody. Let's wait to see, first off, how Ben Johnson wants to utilize the player, how Aaron Glenn wants to utilize the player, because they went offense and defense. And 2, let's actually see them play a snap at the NFL level. Let's actually watch how this whole thing breaks down. Because there is a rapport with the front office and the Lions fan base that 24 hours ago, I'm good with whoever we take, and Brad we trust, blah, blah, blah. And then this morning, it's, how could you even say it, Brad we trust? Who are these people? Oh, my God, they would have been there at pick 86. Deep breath. Allow the professionals to do their job and have faith that this isn't Bob Quinn. Right? Want to remind you, folks, NBA playoff means big hoops action with the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Get in on all the excitement with every game. At the touch of a button, new customers can make a $5 pregame moneyline bet, score $150 in bonus bets if your team wins. Plus, everyone can score a no-sweat same-game parlay every day during the NBA playoffs. Open up the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Opt in. Place a same-game parlay on any NBA game. If it doesn't hit, you'll get a bonus bet back up to $10. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code HUGE. Promo code HUGE only at DraftKings. If you or somebody you know has a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline at 800-270-7117. 21 plus, Michigan only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility, wagering, deposit restrictions will apply. See terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. Picks 3, 17, and 24 in this round today. That's what we got. Let's see how this whole thing shakes up. Real football drafting is a whole heck of a lot different than fantasy football drafting. And the only guy who was playing fantasy football last night was that young quarterback, Will Levis. My goodness. Wow. What did he have going on at his table? And if you know, you know. We'll see you on Monday. Enjoy the rest of the draft. For Dana, Ryan, and Anthony, adios, amigos.
Godsmack, live and in your face. Friday, May 26th at Soaring Eagle Casino, plus Bad Wolves. And same show, same night, Bullet for My Valentine. Tickets start at $28, on sale now at the Soaring Eagle box office or etix.com. Party hard, rock harder. Godsmack, May 26th, part of the Soaring Eagle Summer Outdoor Concert Series.
When you're in construction, you know that every minute matters and every dollar counts. You've got materials to purchase, employees to pay, and deadlines to meet. What you don't have is time to worry about your accounting, taxes, or ways to grow your business. That's where we come in. We're Bean Garter. And while your business is construction, our business is helping you run your business better. From tax planning, payroll processing, or R&D credit studies, we're here for you with concrete advice and answers. Let us help you build a solid foundation for your business. Whether you're a subcontractor, developer, architect, or engineer, of all the things you build, make your business the strongest. Experience service, expertise, and simplicity at Bean Garter. Find us online, beangarter.com. Bean Garter.
Have you ever played golf at Tullymore, St. Ives? Have you experienced a stay-and-play package in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, less than an hour north of Grand Rapids? Well, here's what you need to do if you want to take advantage of great deals right now. Go to tullymoregolf.com. That's TullymoreGolf.com, and you'll see the link for packages, accommodations, dining, meetings, weddings, events, and so much more, and especially golf on the 18-hole layout at Tullymore and the 18 holes at St. Ives. And they can accommodate any group, whether it's 2 people getting together or 200 looking for a weekend or an overnight celebration. That includes a little business, golf, great food, and beverages. Just go to TullymoreGolf.com. That's TullymoreGolf.com. They're located in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, less than an hour north of GR. Get more info at TullymoreGolf.com.
We might have just come out with our most refreshing Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer yet. It's called the Essential Collection. It's made with coconut water and real fruit juice, so it's always going to have a real refreshing fruit taste. Can refreshing get any more refreshing? Yep, it can, and it just did. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, made with coconut water and real fruit juice for superior taste. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.